Hi everybody and welcome back to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Elsie.
And we're on day 2 of our article about Ameca. And we learn that Ameca is a humanoid robot.
That's right. She was created by this company called Engineered Arts. And she's a robot. It's a robot designing and manufacturing company in the UK.
That's right. So Ameca has many built-in sensors to get information and motors to give her movement, and these make her very lifelike.
That's right. And she can move and display many human expressions.
Yeah, we learn that she can recognize people's faces and the expressions they make. Oh, I recognize that's angry. I recognize that's happy. She can understand the speech and even make eye contact with people.
Yeah, and today we're going to find out more about how she was made and what she's supposed to do.
Yeah, we know that she's got a very powerful artificial intelligence, so she should be able to learn and improve and figure things out for herself. But why is she around? What are they going to do with her? Let's read through day 2 and find out.
Reading. Meet Ameca, a robot with human expressions. Ameca was made by using 3D scans of real people to accurately copy human bone structure, skin, and expressions. However, Ameca is not alive. What we see as natural human behavior is actually just a machine following instructions. While Ameca has a face that looks real, she can't walk or jump yet. Engineered Arts plans to improve her abilities as time passes. One day, she will be able to walk. Robots like Ameca are good for creating engaging social interactions between humans and machines. People are always amazed by her. There are limits, however, regarding what Ameca can handle on her own. For example, while she could help hotel guests to check in, she might not understand every question she is asked. In cases like this, a human behind the scenes can control her remotely. The guests, meanwhile, still believe they are talking to a machine. Over time, Ameca's AI will improve, so she can handle more tasks on her own. It seems like she has a bright future ahead of her.
So we're going to start off by finding out how did they make Ameca? What did they do to get these lifelike human expressions on her face? The article says Ameca was made by using 3D scans of real people to accurately, that's the word from yesterday, copy human bone structure, skin, and expressions. Got a few ideas to figure out here, and the most important one is scan. A scan is the image that's created when usually a machine takes a very detailed picture or image of you. A scan here means the same kind of thing as an X-ray or an MRI, that sort of really detailed digital scan that would give you an extremely detailed map. Not just like a photo, but a real kind of scan somebody so we can see all inside and the top and get a 3D, as the article said, image.
所以我们的 Ameca 它是用什么制造出来的呢？是 3D scans。3D 也就是3D 的扫描技术，扫描真人以精确的复制人类的骨架 bone structure、皮肤还有表情 expressions.
That's right. So bone structure was one of the things we looked at here. Generally, when we talk about something's structure, we're talking about the way it's made and kind of the hard parts on which you build something. The structure of a house could be the sort of walls, the ceiling, the supporting stuff. Our bone structure is how do our bones fit together? How are they joined? How do they move? Which bits carry the weight? You know, when we move or smile or turn, which bones all move and how? So when we think about bone structure, we could say, for example, cats' bone structures are different from ours. The bones join in different ways, and the spine goes all the way to the tail.
Structure 代表的是结构、构造，所以我们说到的 bone structure 那就是骨架、骨头的结构、构造。那还有像是社会结构，我们用的是 social structure。那还有经济结构 economic structure。
Right, so that's how they make Ameca look very lifelike. They take real humans' expressions and scans and go like, okay, maybe Elsie, smile, we'll scan you smiling. Elsie, move, we scan Elsie moving, and use that detail to put it into Ameca. But as the article says, however, Ameca is not alive.
当然，它不是活生生的。She's just a robot.
Yep.
And then the article says what we see as natural human behavior is actually just a machine following instructions.
Yeah, we'll look at her move and raise her eyebrows and do stuff and think, wow, look at how she behaves. Look at how she acts like a human. But what's going on? She just has these hundreds of little computer programs that are receiving information, giving her instructions saying, this happened, move this way, this happened, do this happened, react. So for humans, we'd call this behavior, the way that somebody or someone or something acts, especially around others. Human behavior is how we treat each other. It's what we do, like, I'm frightened, I'll do this. I'm happy, I'll do this. Someone's telling me to stop and making me upset. I will do this. This is human behavior.
Behavior 这个名词代表是行为 ，human behavior 那就是人类会做出来的行为，那 animal behavior 就是动物会做出来的行为，那还有像是 criminal behavior 也是有人家研究的，因为要了解他的犯罪行为。再来。动词是 behave， 代表是行为表现。For example, you are an adult， 你已经是成人了。Stop behaving like a 3-year-old， 不要再表现得像3岁一样。
Now, in some ways, humans are kind of doing the same thing. Our brain is like a super powerful computer that gets the information and tells us what to do or suggests what to do. It's a little more complicated. With Ameca, she's following these instructions. The information will go through a program and pop out a result. And it's instructions we're using here. The instructions for something are the steps for carrying out a particular task. It's the guidelines for how to do something, okay? So Ameca receives this and she gets an instruction. It will be a little bit of machine code that says, do this, smile, put out your hand, open your eyes, and her sensors and motors will do the right things. Here's another example of how we can use instructions. Here are the instructions for how to build your table. Please read them carefully.
Instruction 代表的是指示、命令，所以我们要 follow instructions， 那就是要遵从指令。那这里 Ameca 她不是真的有感觉 ，she doesn't really have feelings.
Yes.
It's just she's programmed to show expressions.
Yeah, we behave in certain ways because we feel something and it makes us kind of do this, and we can control it. Like, my feeling is to do this, but I'm just going to calm myself down. And Ameca is limited in other ways too. All her motors and sensors seem to be related to her face. The article says, while Ameca has a face that looks real, she can't walk or jump yet.
While 这个连接词呢，在这边是什么意思 ？Let's take a look. 今天的 Language in Focus 要讲到的是 while 跟 whereas 这两个连接词。那它们两个呢，可以放在句中。所以前面有个主词，后面有个动词，加上 while 或是 whereas， 再加上另外一个主词及动词，那可以表示而点点点，但点点点，或是然而点点点的意思。那用来比较呢，或是对比前后两个子句，语义跟 but 很相近，但不是完全一样哦。For example, the cat sleeps all day while the dog runs around and plays. 那一只猫咪整天都在睡觉，而那只狗则是跑来跑去玩个不停。还有像是我们可以说 Arthur likes cold weather, whereas Phil prefers hot weather. Arthur 喜欢的是寒冷的天气，但是 Phil 他偏好的是炎热的天气。那再来要注意的是呢 while 和 whereas 除了摆放在句中以外，也可以摆放在句首。所以课文里面的这一句话 While Ameca has a face that looks real, she can't walk or jump yet 代表的是虽然 Ameca 有张真的脸蛋，但是她不能走。 也不能跳。
Of course, that's just for now. Okay, she's got artificial intelligence, which means she should be able to learn and be taught new things. It's difficult to teach like a computer on your desk a new thing. It hasn't got artificial intelligence. But if it's got AI, you could go, here's new information. You can figure it out. You'll learn something new.
Yes.
So we see in the article, Engineered Arts, remember that's the designer and manufacturer, Engineered Arts plans to improve her abilities as time passes. So as they get better and better, as they learn more things and figure out more stuff, they will let her do more things.
没错，所以这家公司呢，他们也计划要 improve her abilities， 也就是改善她的能力。And the article tells us one day she will be able to walk.
Yeah, they'll get there. So that's sort of the how part of Ameca being created. Now let's look at the why. We see in the article, robots like Ameca are good for creating engaging social interactions between humans and machines. So, yeah, a human and a machine like an ATM, like that's not much of an interaction. Type my number, I want this money, give me the money. That is not particularly engaging. Something that's engaging interests you. It makes you want to be involved. It keeps you interested so that you keep doing it. A good video game will be engaging. You'll go, oh, this is so cool. I want to play again. I want to learn more. I want to see what happens next. A good book will be engaging and keep you turning the pages. Here's another example. I had a job interview, but it turned into an engaging conversation about the future of smartphones. We just had a really good chat that we both wanted to continue.
Engaging 这个形容词代表吸引人的、使人全神贯注的，所以如果用它来形容事物的话，代表你一直都会对这个事物感兴趣。像是例句说到的 an engaging conversation， 那就是吸引人的对话 ；an engaging class， 那就是一堂吸引人的课程，可能学生都非常感兴趣。那再来还有可以形容 activity，an engaging activity， 令人感兴趣的、吸引人的活动。那我们这边说到啊 ，Ameca can help create engaging social interactions.
Yep, so an interaction is any contact between two or more things where both are moving or changing or reacting or communicating. Again, technically, you can have an interaction with an ATM. You press a button, it does something. You press another button, it gives you money. That is a basic interaction. Here we're talking about social interactions, more like a conversation, a discussion, some back and forth. You react, Ameca reacts.
Interaction 这个名词呢，代表交流、互动。那它动词形式，同学们也要认识是 interact。Interact with somebody， 那就是和某人互动。For example, Jenny interacts well with her coworkers， 代表她跟同事的互动良好。那这边呢，我们就是要人类跟这个 Ameca 有良好的互动。
Yeah, so a lot of the reason why people or why Engineered Arts built her is to let humans and robots have this interaction, have this kind of conversation and back and forth. We see in the article, people are always amazed by her. What does amazed mean? Let's find out. So we're using the verb form here, amaze, A-M-A-Z-E. And if something amazes you, you're shocked by how cool or possibly how terrible something is. You can't quite believe it. So you stop what you're doing in order to pay more attention. We can also use it in the adjective form, amazed. Wow, I was amazed by that thing. It's kind of a mixture of a past tense verb and an adjective. For example, we could say, we were all amazed by the cool clothes that people wore during the parade and by the creative and crazy cars they rode on. It's the sort of thing that makes you go, wow, I can't believe it. This is great. I want to keep watching.
Amaze 这个动词呢，代表使惊奇，所以我们当要表示因某人某事而感到惊奇的时候，可以用 be amazed by or at somebody or something. So for example, I was amazed by her performance. 当然，这个句子呢，也可以用 amazing 来改写哦。Amazing 这个形容词是令人惊奇的，所以我们要说 the performance was amazing.
Okay, so as we said earlier, Ameca is not human.
Right.
She hasn't got a brain that can figure out loads and loads of things without a little bit of help to get her started. And as we know, she can't move, she can't jump. And the article also says there are limits, however, regarding what Ameca can handle on her own. Here we're using regarding to mean the same thing as concerning or in regards to. We use it when we want to refer to a particular subject or area or topic.
Regarding 它是一个 preposition， 它是一个介系词哦，代表的是关于，所以我们可以说啊 I have some questions regarding the company policies， 代表我有一些问题，那问题是关于公司的政策。
Right, so there are things therefore Ameca can't do on her own. On one's own, on my own, on her own, on their own just means by oneself, by themselves, by myself.
没错 ，on one's own 代表的是独自靠自己的力量。For example, don't worry about him. He can do this on his own. 代表他可以靠自己的力量做这件事情。当然，我们也可以说 he can do this by himself.
So let's look at kind of a real world thing where Ameca could be used, but she might need a little bit of help because she can't do it all on her own. The article says, for example, while she could help hotel guests to check in, she might not understand every question she is asked. So if it's just basic, simple stuff, here's my name, here's my number, check the passport, here's your room, here's the key, simple stuff, she could do it. But if it was a bit more complicated, like asking lots of questions about the room or the hotel, probably not.
Yeah, like how do I get to my room if I don't want to take the elevator?
Yeah, that sort of stuff. Anything that's a bit outside the normal questions of what happens when you check in. To check in here means to officially register at a hotel. When you go up to the counter, you say, hi, this is Pat Woods. I have a room for tonight and tonight. Here's my card or whatever. Here's my credit card, ID, something like that. We can also use check-in for an airplane flight. When you arrive and you say, hi, I'm here, here's my passport, here's my ticket, although not many people use tickets anymore, but they register you. You say, he's arrived, he's going to get on this flight, here's your boarding pass, give us your bag, that kind of stuff.
没错，所以 check in 可以是到 hotel 到饭店去办理入房手续，当然也可以是到比如说机场柜台你去办理登机报到手续。那如果你入房之后要退房，你办理退房的动作是 check out。那我们这边看到的 while 在前一天有提过，是带出对比的。Ameca 它可以帮忙饭店住客登记入住，简单的程序它可以处理，但是呢，它没有办法了解每一个旅客提出的 personal questions.
Yes. So what happens when Ameca gets asked something she doesn't know how to answer, something outside her normal programming? The article says, in cases like this, a human behind the scenes can control her remotely. We use the phrase behind the scenes to mean kind of out of sight of the audience, out of sight of whoever's watching or in the scene. The human operator could be behind a curtain, in a room somewhere, maybe watching on a camera, but not actually present.
Behind the scenes 代表是秘密的、不公开的，像是电影的 behind the scenes， 那就是幕后花絮，也是观众看不到的。Okay, so here a human behind the scenes can control her remotely.
Let's find out what that means. So remotely means from a distance. You can do something from far away. You don't need physical contact to do it. You can just do it from a completely different location. And this has been going along a lot of the last few years. Thanks to the internet, we can now work remotely. We stay at home instead of going to the office.
Remotely 这个副词呢，代表是远端的，所以 work remotely 那就是在远端工作，不用进到办公室。那形容词是 remote 远端的、遥远的，像是 a remote control 就是你的遥控器，在远端遥控的器具，或者是呢 a remote area 那就是一个遥远的区域。
So this person then can kind of work Ameca and give her the instructions she needs to answer the question, but we see the guests, meanwhile, still believe they are talking to a machine. They don't know that she's getting some extra help. Here we're using the adverb meanwhile to kind of mean on the other hand. We use this to present a contrast, to make a comparison between what they think and what's really going on between one thing and another thing. This is what they think, meanwhile, this is what's true. Here's another example. Danny loves all kinds of sport. Fred, meanwhile, doesn't enjoy sports and prefers to watch movies.
Meanwhile 这个副词啊，在这边代表的是而的意思。这什么意思呢？用于强调两种同时发生的情况差异。那例句中呢，带出对比的两件事情，也可以用我们学到的 while 来代换，像是呢 ，Danny loves all kinds of sport while Fred prefers to watch movies. 那接下来呢，文章说到什么 ？What does the article say?
The article then says, over time, Ameca's AI will improve so she can handle more tasks on her own. It's what we've been talking about. She can learn, she can figure out new things. But this will happen over time. So as time passes, we're talking about what will happen in the future.
Right, over time 代表是逐渐地随着时间过去，所以 Ameca 它的 AI 会越来越进步。
And the article says it seems like she has a bright future ahead of her.
Bright 表示有前途的、有希望的。那 ahead 这个字的意思是呢，在将来、未来。
Okay, well, that's all for part 2 of the article. Let's now go to our second For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So here's a situation question. You have a chance to meet Ameca. What do you ask her or say to her?
I might ask her a lot of silly questions like, do you have feelings?
Okay.
Do you feel sad or happy? Or do you even hate human beings?
Right, that's an interesting one, yeah. Yes, the temptation would be to sort of mess with her just a little bit. Find some kind of robot joke from a movie or a TV show and kind of put it in there to see what she does, that sort of thing. Just to sort of test how good her programming is, really. How much can she say back? But how much could you just completely confuse her, so she needs the help? If you say, do you know where I'm from? Maybe she will be able to, if she's seen my passport, she might be able to tell. Maybe she's been programmed to recognize a British accent, something like that.
True.
You know, or maybe you ask her a strange riddle to see if she can use her machine learning to figure it out. You say, what goes up a chimney down, but not down a chimney up?
Maybe she's able to answer this kind of question.
Maybe she is. Maybe she's intelligent enough. But thing is, if I do it once, then the next person who does it, she'll know because she'll have learned with the AI.
She can learn.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just sort of, play around. Nothing too serious.
Right.
Try and get a laugh out of it, that sort of thing. Okay, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. For English For You, I'm Pat.
I'm Elsie.
Talk to you again soon when maybe we will be robots. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Structure. The two buildings are owned by the same company, and they have a similar kind of structure. Instruction. We're not sure how to start the project because our boss hasn't given us any instructions yet. Engaging. Rosalina didn't find the movie very engaging. She was quite bored by the end. Amaze. That restaurant was great. I was amazed by how good the food was. Remotely. Tony doesn't need to go to the office. He can use the company computer remotely from his home. Meanwhile, Peter is on a great vacation. Meanwhile, I'm stuck at the office. It's not fair.
智慧小补帖
Scan. Behavior. Interaction. Regarding.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net